What's up, everybody? It's Winning Wednesday. You already know the vibes. It's your girl, Brandi Harvey. Drop where you listen from, where you're watching from. It is Winning Wednesday. Oh, I'm supposed to have my tablet up so I could see these comments while y'all are commenting on this here live. So maybe if we can log in on there. How y'all doing today? It's Winning Wednesday. Good to see you. Atlanta, Georgia's in the building. Cleveland, Ohio is most definitely in the house.
Is this YouTube?
Uh-huh.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Y'all are getting the behind the scenes and the on the scene, okay, today, because it is a tape day today. We typically don't tape on Wednesdays, but we are here taping today. We had some good shows. We just wrapped two shows. I had the beautiful Monique Rodriguez on the show today. She filmed her episode. And then I had the wonderful one and only Billy Carson is back on the show. So all y'all people who love that episode that we did with Billy Carson, he is back on the show. His interview will be dropping in a few weeks, as well as Monique Rodriguez. Oh, we got to download YouTube on it? Okay. So we're downloading so I can see these comments because I left my tablet in the other room. So we just, as opposed to me getting up, we just gonna. So if you guys were here last week, we are now moving Winning Wednesday over here to YouTube. I'm going to give me a nice new thumbnail. So people know that it's going to be a Winning Wednesday here on this restream over here on this app. And we're going to get us a nice little thumbnail going so y'all know what time it is. And y'all can join us every week. But last week, we had a wonderful session and we talked about vision boards. And so for everyone who has purchased the vision board course, thank you so much, Jada. What I do? I am not a team of one, okay? I didn't realize that this jacket cut so low. Did we see this when I was on the episode earlier? It's giving real. It's giving Teddy. Okay. Hi everybody. How y'all doing today? Good to see you. Fort Lauderdale is in the building. Seattle, Washington, Los Angeles is in the building. Good to see y'all. South Carolina is in the building. North Carolina is in the building. Good to see you guys. It's Winning Wednesday. So if you purchased the vision board course, I want you to go ahead and drop that money in the chat. If you purchased the vision board course, I want you to drop it in the chat and let me know that you purchased and what key takeaways have you gotten. I've gotten some great DMs from so many of you guys talking about the vision board course and how it's been a great GPS, a great guide for you to kind of recalibrate, rethink, reimagine your dreams in this season of your life. I know so many of us, we wait till January and we wait till wintertime at the top of the year to finally, let's say, what do I want to do with my life? Where do I want my life to go? But it's springtime. Spring has sprung. The buds, the flowers are budding, the trees are blooming. And so that's the same thing that can happen in your life. You can start to begin to shift your life. Things can start to bloom. Things can start to take shape in your life. Mississippi is in the building. Good to see you. It is Winning Wednesday. Can I share y'all a story? Y'all know I love story time. So this weekend, my nephew BJ, y'all know I love a good BJ story. So my nephew BJ hit the game-winning shot this weekend on Sunday at his AAU tournament. And here's what made this so special, because since he has been playing basketball, since he was like 4 or 5 years old, he practices every day for the buzzer beater shot. He practices every day that he is gonna, or the buzzer gonna go off as soon as it goes in. And y'all, it has happened 2 times in this season, and I'm so proud of him because it's the same thing about how we live our lives. You gotta practice how you want to play the game. You gotta practice how you want to play the game of your life. We can sit up here and talk about it, but until we actually be about it, it really don't make no sense, right? We have to practice how we want to play. And oftentimes we miss out on so many opportunities because we really haven't been taking those practice shots. We haven't been hitting those shots when nobody has been looking. So many of us want the opportunities of what happens when the light shines and we get in front of those cameras, and this light camera action is prime time. But what are you willing to do to practice in the dark when nobody's watching how you want to play the game of your life. You get to choose that. I just wrapped up a great episode that's going to air. It's our follow up episode with Billy Carson. And the thing that we talked a lot about is our consciousness and our mindset of how we are really the ordainers of our destiny, that we are co-creators with the most high God, and that the things that we want to see come to life, we have the power to make that happen. Listen, Miss Erica said BJ is on fire. Erica said she loved that clip. You know, I think it's just so Wanda said, congratulations, nephew. Listen, you got to practice how you want to play the game of your life. And so if you want to lose the weight, you got to practice how you want to play. That means you got to change the way you eat. That means you got to do some things different every single day. That means you got to show up for yourself in the game of life. We want results, but we don't want to do the work in order to get those results. You know, we want the magic pill, we want the quick fix for everything in our lives, but that's not how our vision comes to play. You know, Billy and I were just talking before, and I was talking about kind of our slow build on our subscribers. And he asked how many subscribers we had. And I said, oh, we're at, 178. Then I go back and look, we're at 179,000 subscribers. So thanks everybody on YouTube. So we're on the road to 180, gonna hit 200,000 pretty soon, I do believe. And he said there are people who he knows that have produced great content, wonderful episodes, all of that, and they still haven't hit over a certain amount of subscribers. And so it kind of made me feel good, because he's like, they've been doing that for 5 years. They launched your channel 5 years ago. They launched your channel X amount of years ago. And for us, we're still in that toddler stage. We're still in our toddler, we're 2.5. So the fact that we've been able to grow this channel really is a testament to how I choose to play the game, right? I know that it's not going to happen overnight. I know these seeds are not going to blossom and take root overnight, but I know that I have to keep showing up and practicing how I want to play the game. When I wrapped our episode today with Monique Rodriguez, the founder and CEO of My Yale Organics, what she said, she was like, I see a primetime show in your future. I'm going to claim that. I'm already speaking that for you. I said, girl, I already see it too. So thank you. I'm going to touch and agree, because it is about us actually saying these things, but putting into practice how we want to play the game. So how do I show up? I show up dressed. I don't come in here looking like no bum when I get on this seat, right? I come in here, I take the time to do my hair, I take the time to do my makeup, I take the time to pick out clothes that are proper for this show, right? Because I see myself moving to that bigger budget. Y'all know when they give me that bigger wardrobe budget, they give me that hair and makeup budget when your girl not doing her own makeup, when she not doing her own hair for the show, when she got her wardrobe budget, all of those things that are gonna, I gotta practice and walk in the gratitude and walk in the spirit of excellence now. So when it comes, it's not a foreign situation for me. This isn't new territory for me. I've been practicing how I want to play the game. I'm not gonna wait till they give me the deal for me to show up in a blazer. Baby, I got blazers. I'm putting my blazer on. Listen. So you have to, Courtney said discipline has a look. Shamika Daniels, it does. Discipline has receipts. Erica said when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. I think so often we expect, so many people in our society, we expect things to just happen. No, things don't just happen. We make things happen. We make things happen. And so the life you want, you have to figure out, what do I want to make happen in my life? I mean, it's Winning Wednesday. And so when you know that you're an ordainer of your destiny, when you know that you're a co-creator of your life, what do you want to see? How do you want to see the next 30 days shift your life? How do you want to see the next year when we come back to this date in 2026? How do you want it to look different? Do you want your body look different? Do you want your house to be different? Do you want the car you're driving to be different? Do you want the people you hang around to be different? Well, that's going to require you to make some other changes. It's going to require you to take some additional steps. I was at the gym the other morning, and well, I'm at the gym every morning. So let's be clear. Okay. Your girl's at the gym every morning. Okay. But when I was at the gym the other morning, I got on the scale. And when I got on the scale the other morning, the number had gone up 2 pounds. And I knew why the number had gone up 2 pounds, because your girl this weekend I had some bread, a biscuit, baby. I had some tacos, all that sodium that I had this weekend, baby. It was sitting heavy, heavy, heavy come Monday morning. And I knew that, okay, Brandi, I got on the scale because here's what we got to know: the numbers don't lie. And if you want to know, have a clear picture of where you are, get your ass on that scale. Some of y'all keep running away from that scale. Some of y'all keep running away from the very thing you have to confront and you have to be aware of. So I'm very clear on my numbers. It had gone up 2 pounds. Now, here's the thing, y'all. It don't take no time to gain no weight. That was over the weekend. 2 pounds because I'm holding on to water. I had all that sodium, wasn't getting in the water that I normally get in every single day. Although I hadn't drank any alcohol, still haven't drank any alcohol, but the number was up. So what did that mean? So Monday, Tuesday, that means guess what? You don't need no carbs, baby. You need some fruit, some fish, and some vegetables. That's all you need to do. Up that cardio. Monday night, I had walked the park. I had done Effect Fitness. I had done boot camp. I had been drinking my water. I had been minding my business the whole day. And guess what? I got on that scale yesterday morning and that 2 pounds of water weight was gone. You got to practice how you want to play the game, but you got to get clear on where you are and where you want to be. See, we want to keep faking and fronting. We want to keep moving around and being oblivious to the things in order to change our lives. We got to take control over it. Somebody said, walk in gratitude. Woo. I just asked myself this last week. Easy to put on, hard to take off. Love Jones said, easy to put on, hard to take off. It is so easy to put on weight, but it is so hard to take it off. And so that is why, if you stay clear on your numbers, if you're getting on that scale once a week, I'm not asking you to get on the scale every day. I got friends who get on the scale every single morning. I do. But okay, every Monday, you get on that scale. Every Friday, you get on that scale. Every Wednesday, you get on that scale. So you have a clear picture of where you are. Because if you don't know the numbers, you don't know where you're going. You have no idea. And so that's one thing that we have control over. We got control over this body. We got control over this temple. You can keep putting it off on somebody else, but baby, you got the control. You got the power. Somebody said, Courtney said, I needed this. Let me tell you, you know why you needed this, friend? Because you tired of the weight. I asked this a few weeks ago on my Winning Wednesday a few weeks ago. Are you over the weight? And I'm talking about over the physical weight. Are you over waiting around for something to happen? Are you over the weight? And so many of us, we get so stuck in a rut because we don't realize it's time to just get over the weight. You know that physical weight is holding you down in your life. You know it's keeping you stuck. You know it's keeping you with an attitude. You know when you don't feel the way you supposed to feel and how you want to feel, what you got? You got an attitude. You be mad. Why you mad? Why you mad at that lady because she can wear that outfit that you want to wear? Why you mad at that lady because she running and jumping and doing the things you want to do? Why you mad? You have every capability in your life to make anything that you want to see happen. You have the power to do it. You have the power to do it. Oh, they said Brandi. They said Brandi. Listen, I appreciate all you contributing to my shift this season. All you contribute to, all tuned into your conversations. I don't know what some of these little abbreviations y'all got. I don't know what does that mean. Um Digital Jada over here in the corner talking about all focus on building muscle, not just cardio. Muscle helps to keep the fat off. Absolutely. Thank you, my little muscle building producer over here. She over here getting her donk together, honey, for the summer season. She over here building her donk, y'all. Listen, she over here doing it. Because that's the thing. I mean, y'all know I talk about with lifting weights all the time. I've been lifting weights since I was 22 years old. And so I believe in lifting weights. And here's the thing. I've been lifting weights all these years. I lift heavy weights. For all those ladies out there like, I don't want to look like no man. I don't look like no man. My body is not super muscular. I have a lot of muscle on my body. I'm strong now. I'm strong. You run up on me, baby, you're going to find out. Okay, just how strong I am. I'm strong. But you can still just keep a nice womanly shape to your body, nice womanly tone to your body, but lifting weights, that's going to be the difference maker as you start to get older. whether or not you fall and you can actually get yourself back up. Listen, you're going to want to get back up. You are going to want to get back up. So, I mean, you have to figure out what it is you want in this season. For all those people who took the vision board course and are taking the power back in their hands, we're gonna drop it in the chat. Nakia's gonna drop it in the chat. Make sure you have the link. If you haven't purchased the vision board course, this is the jump start. Here's the thing. I want y'all to understand that this vision board course is really just a jump start. It's to propel you in the right direction. It is not to solve all of your problems. Okay. So if you wishing on a star looking for the magician and the genie in a bottle, this ain't the genie in a bottle. Okay. This is for you to start to get some real clear ideas and specific goals down in your life so you know where you're going. This is for you to get clear on saying, this is what I want in the season of my life. I want to have a clear picture of where I'm going. Often we want to put too much on all these other things and make other people responsible for it. At the end of the day, as my mother loves to say, y'all, my mom's favorite line is at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you still got to do the work. You still have got to do the work. Cynthia Phillips said, my first time here, I stopped eating sugar in January and the weight just fell off, lost 12 pounds. I mean, look at that. Congratulations. That is awesome, Cynthia. Thank you for sharing that with us. I mean, we know sugar makes you fat. Sugar makes you fat. It's not fat that makes you fat, it's sugar that makes you fat. Leslie asked, do you ever eat red meat or only fish occasionally? I only eat fish occasionally. I do pretty much stick to a plant-based diet. So I stay away from the dairy and I do stay away from the meats. I eat a lot of fruits and veggies. So a typical day for me, I will probably have fish maybe once a day, and then the rest of the time I'm eating a lot of berries. I got blueberries in my bag right now. I had some shrimp and grits that I made some shrimp and grits yesterday. It was so bomb, y'all. It was so bomb. And I had some left over and I kept that for lunch today, so I ate that. And them grits reheated fine, so don't nobody be all in the comments like, ooh, I don't like no reheated grits, baby. They reheated just fine. Okay. But I typically only will have meat once, maybe twice a day. So, like tonight, I'll probably just eat veggies tonight. I'll make a salad. I may have baked sweet potatoes or something like that. But I do eat a lot of stews. I eat a lot of, if I do eat seafood, I'm making probably a lot of fish stew, a lot of curries. I eat a lot of spices, a lot of things that help me get a lot of vegetables in. So, and then everything I make is fresh. I cook every day. So even, I mean, I'm chopping up all my garlic, my ginger, all my onions, everything is, I don't do nothing out the container, none of that stuff. Courtney said, congratulations, Cynthia. Um, welcome. They said, welcome first timers. Look at y'all. So y'all, I love y'all hospitality in the Never Scared Ministries. This is Never Scared Ministries, where we are never scared, but we will nuck if you buck. So be sure to wipe us down. You know, y'all are so hospitable over here in the Never Scared Ministries. So thank y'all for being so nice to the people who are their first time here. I typically have done this on IG and not YouTube. YouTube was our first time last week. And so we are trying this out on YouTube and seeing how we go with this. So we're feeling pretty good, feeling pretty great about it. But to my friend who lost the 12 pounds, I want you to keep it up. As easy we get this weight to come off and then we find ourselves back in the same habits. So I want you to keep this weight off. And so how do you do that? I want you to drop in the comments, how are you balancing out this no sugar? Are you able to eat fruit? Have you lost your sugar craving totally? Like, give me some something to talk about in here with you with the sugar. I'm so glad you shared that. Um, I think I think we are so good at, when we lose the weight, and sometimes we find it hard to keep that weight off. Sometimes we lose it and somehow we find it. Okay. So I want you to lose it and stay gone. I want you to go find the weight again. Okay. So the how we not find the weight again, we got to make this a lifestyle change. All right. We got to make lifestyle changes. And so everything that we do This is about our lifestyle. Working out is so part of my lifestyle. I don't even think about what I'm going to do in the morning. I know every single morning when I get up, I'm going to move my body. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to take a walk. I'm going, to take a class. I'm going doing something that's going to move my body every single day. And then because my lifestyle is health and wellness, the foods that I'm putting in my body every single day are conducive to that lifestyle. So yeah, it's just certain foods. If it's a drive through, I'm usually driving past. So some of y'all over here eating drive through food every day, expecting to lose weight. I don't know how we gonna do it. I don't know how you gonna do it. We got to drive through, drive past. Um, Erica said, if you haven't joined Brandy's text list, please join. Thank you so much, Erica, for sharing that. Listen, I do text when I'm going live, so you will know if I'm going live on any platform. Before I go live, I'll let you know. I did send out the text, and I said I was going live now, and then I came back in the room, and the guest that we had on here was still in here recording. So, so it was a delay, okay, but we're not denied. It was a delay, but we are not denied. So y'all are funny. I love y'all in the group. Give me some new goals that y'all are working on. We got the person who's losing weight, who's lost weight, but I want to know, what are some goals that you guys are working on right now that's a part of your vision for 2025 and beyond? Give me some goals that you're working on. I'm really trying to expand my personal brand. And y'all know what my issue is in expanding my personal brand? Is I don't like posting my personal life. I do not like posting my personal life. So if y'all see my Instagram page, I just had a whole meeting with a agency last week, and they said, you've been really good at like your on camera, brand building, but we see that you don't post anything about your personal. I said, not at all. I do not. I don't know. I just want to. I keep my personal life personal. I feel like this is a part of my personal brand. I feel like Vault is a part of, like, it's one and the same. It's a part of my personal brand. I just don't be cussing on here the way I do in my personal life. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep it PG. You know. Erica said completing a book a month. Ooh, completing a book a month. Okay, so that means 12 books by the end of the year. I feel like that's so doable, Erica. Thank you for sharing that. I feel like that's totally doable. I feel like you can definitely let me give y'all one good book to read. Carly and I may be dropping this for our book club on this here YouTube platform. Let me tell y'all what book y'all need. Broken Country. Y'all, this book was the most beautifully written book I have read in such a long time. Broken Country. Think her name is Leslie Hall. I can't remember her name, but the book is called Broken Country. Y'all, Erica, if you are looking to start a book, you can do it on audio, or you can go, I don't know if you got an audio or a regular page turner preference. But that book, Chef's Kiss, top tier. That book is so well done. It is so well written. I think you will absolutely love it. It is so good. I was just hyping that book to Monique Rodriguez's team while we were waiting on her to finish up her stuff. I was literally hyping that book. They were all sitting there downloading the book while I was talking to them. They were like, "You didn't really pump this book up, Brandi." I was like, "The book is so well done." Um, refining primordial being, that's your YouTube name. Okay, bless up, love that. Refining my apparel designs and poetry. Okay, those are two very different things. Refining my apparel designs and poetry. Now help me with just refining my apparel designs. What does that mean? You trying to sketch out some stuff? What you doing? They got too much stuff on Alibaba for you to be doing that. But okay. Get AI to help you sketch out these designs. Save you some time. Erica said, I start one and another one, but don't complete the reading. Erica, Broken Country. I'm telling you, it is phenomenal. It is so, so good. It's so good. Leslie from NYC said, I'm trying to lose 15 more pounds and refocus my marketing for my e-commerce business. $200,000 goal. Lost 10 pounds with major changes and 3-day fast. Okay, I'm trying to lose 15 more pounds and refocus my marketing for my e-commerce business, a goal of $200,000, and lose 10 pounds with major changes. Lost 10 pounds with major changes. What were the major changes in these 3-day fast? I'm curious. What did you do? Like 3-day water fast, 3-day juice fast? What did you do to lose this and 15 more pounds? Are you working out with this to try to lose this weight? Are you working out in this process? Help me understand, Leslie. I want to know. I want to dive deeper into this 15 pounds that you're going to lose. I mean, what's the weight attached to? Oftentimes, the weight is attached to something, right? It's attached to an emotion, it's attached to a feeling, it's attached to a belief. And so, what are you believing about yourself in this season of your life that's got this extra 15 pounds on you? What are you believing? Because I got 8 pounds I got to get off. I got 8 pounds. I got 8 pounds to get off. I got on the scale. I want to be 158. That's my goal. 158. I'm 166 right now. You see that? Look at me telling my whole weight online on the internet. Um, yeah, telling my whole weight all online. So, but you know what? The one thing that I'm doing, Leslie, I'm really focused on drinking my water and doing my cardio. And then I am so focused on what I'm eating. I am like locked in on what I'm eating. And so that's the real trick. So, but here's my cardio. I just do steps. I just focus on getting my steps in. I just walk. I don't be doing too much. I do boot camp. I've been doing boot camp once a week, and I did it yet on Monday. But I I definitely I'm definitely with you on that. So we got reading a book once a month. We got refining apparel designs and poetry. We got losing 15 more pounds. Primordial being said, my poetry will be printed on my apparel. Oh, okay. Says she does her own sketches. No Alibaba around here. I know that's right. She said, I don't do no Alibaba. She said, I learned how to sew in Ghana last January, so I'm working on my own samples to produce. I love that for you. Congratulations. Learn how to sew. That's amazing. Leslie from NYC said, I'm 55 and last year had high blood pressure, stress, and anxiety. I weighed almost 170 and now 158, 160. Good for you. Shout out to Leslie for letting that stress and anxiety go. That's awesome. That blood pressure, listen, stress is a killer. Stress will kill you. So I'm so glad you got that under control. That is awesome. You know what's going to help with that those last 15 pounds? Are you lifting weights, Leslie? We got to start get you weightlifting. We got to start get you some resistance training going on so you can help pull those extra pounds off. That'll be good. The poetry on your apparel, that's awesome. I love that. Can we see it? We send me a DM of your designs. Let me see it. My doctor, general practitioner, told me to do the 3-day water fast. Oh, okay, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad you sought the counsel of a physician to do that, Leslie. So a 3-day water fast. Jada, didn't you do a 3-day water fast last year? Didn't you when you out here doing that? Yeah, Jada, come on over here, Jada. This is what happens when you. This Jada is camera shy. I don't know if you're gonna make it on that side, Jada. So Jada is
Hey.
ain't she cute? She's so cute. This is my little young baby producer child. But I want you to tell them, Jada, how much weight did you lose when I first met you? How much weight have
Show
you
them.
lost? Oh yeah, pull up your picture. I'm gonna show y'all. Jada, how old are you?
27.
27 years old. I met you at what, 25?
Mm-hmm.
Met her at 25 years old. When I first met her, by the second time I saw her, I didn't even recognize her. I didn't even know this was the same person, y'all.
Nobody. Tabidi, nobody.
No, we did not know that the same person. The girl walked in here about 15 times. I said, who is the new girl? And they said, that's Jada.
See if y'all can see that.
So that was Jada. And that's her transformation.
Mm-hmm.
She lost 40 pounds. 40 pounds?
Yep, 40 pounds.
40 pounds at 26 years old. This was last year. This was what, between 25 and 26, right? You
That
lost.
that was 24 going into 25.
So 2024 going into 2025.
Oh, no. I thought you meant my age.
Oh, your age. So you were 24 going into 25. You lost 40 pounds. Now I know some of y'all old seasoned chickens out here gonna be like, she young, no, her metabolism high. She could
genetics,
lose.
Yeah, y'all see how the weight was sitting on me? I had to rework my whole body.
She has, baby, look, now she got a little, baby, she fine up in here. Okay, okay, she wearing little body dresses, honey, be coming up here. I'm like, all right now, Jada, listen. But what's the one thing that you did in losing that 40 pounds?
I think the biggest thing was a mindset shift, because my mom, she was actually very honest with me and was like, yeah, girl, she doesn't live here with me, by the way. So she saw me on FaceTime for the first time in a while, and she was like, what's going on? But I appreciated that, because I feel like a lot of times we can be coddled and you don't really grow when you're being coddled. So I appreciated her allowing me to see myself like, whoa, I did put on some weight. So I think it was just a mindset shift of like, I'm in total control of this. Like, I haven't been moving my body since college. I haven't been eating right, just straight carbs. Nothing nutritious. So I just said, you know what? This will be the last time that I'm going to allow myself to dig myself into this deep of a hole. However long it takes for me to learn about nutrition, about fitness, I'm going to do whatever I need to do. And I also share that journey on my TikTok, and also a little bit here on YouTube. But yeah,
What's your TikTok? Go ahead, drop your TikTok.
It's Digital Jada on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok.
Digital Jada. She drops what she's eating. She does her grocery list over there. She gives like some workout tips, things that have helped her over her journey of losing 40 pounds. And it does not matter what age you are. Losing 40 pounds is not an easy feat. That is not easy at all. And so I wanted her to share that, because no matter where you are on the journey, we're all somewhere, right? But we all have to have a start date. Everybody starts. It's always a start date for somebody. And the fact that I have watched her over these last 2 years maintain her weight. I mean, at one point she was on her cardio train, serious, right? So she was real little. Then I saw when she started shifting and got on her weightlifting train, and now she's on the weightlifting train. She's on her protein, all her micro macro, baby. She will here counting her all her stuff. Okay, every single day. So she does this, but what she knows, and I say this all the time to everybody who works here, what you do now is going to set you up for how you are 20 years from now. And so her doing this in her 20s, it's the same way I was doing this in my 20s. Same, all those routines that I was creating in my 20s, it sets me up to be a woman over 40 years old and still maintaining her health, still maintaining her weight, still maintaining her fitness.
And her body is tea.
Baby, it's tea, honey. It's tea. Listen, they said yes on the waist. They said OMG. They said, I remember when I was 27. They said, go, Jada. Listen, like, here's they said they're gonna look at your accounts. This is why it's so important, because I share that about Jada, because I want you to understand that no matter where we are, we're all trying to jump some hurdle, right? We're all trying to jump a hurdle. And it doesn't matter. Maybe your hurdle is small. Maybe somebody else's hurdle is bigger. Maybe somebody else's hurdle feels like a mountain to them. But every point in our lives, we are all battling and tackling something. I'm now a woman at 42 years old. I'm going through hormonal changes, things that I would have never thought I would be going through. You're not thinking about when you're younger, skin. I'm 40 plus years old, having acne breakouts and all of that kind of stuff, because your body is kind of recalibrating and reconfiguring itself. And so, yeah, the things I used to do back in the day and the things I used to eat, I can't eat those things no more. I stay away from processed foods. I eat whole foods. And so, because of that, that's when I'm able to make sure my belly fat stays down. And, I realize alcohol is not my friend. I've gotten to this age where I'm like, girl, alcohol is not your friend. And so those are just things that we have to be mindful of, um on our journey. They said they're gonna look at your account. This is very inspirational. I mean, here's the thing. When we say we're gonna do something, so many of us are so good at just talking about it. You've been talking about losing 15 pounds. You've been talking about starting a book. You've been talking about all these things. But what is going to make you put one foot in front of the other and take the action steps? Because it's one thing to talk about it, it's a whole nother thing to be about it, right? Excuse me. Because if we want our year this time next year to look different, I see Miss Jacqueline Glass is in the comments. I think Jacqueline Glass got in the comments. She's speaking for the over 60-year-old ladies out here, all our 60 plus women who are out here changing their lives and helping to change and impact other people's lives. I remember, when Reverend Glass started her health journey, you know um over 10 years ago, and what that looked like, and how this journey through her 50s into her 60s and what that has been. And she's in the best shape of her life. She's in better shape than she was when she was in her 40s. The way she's taking care of herself, the way she's eating, the way she's treating her body, the way she's getting her sleep, the way she's prioritizing herself and her exercise. And I think that's the most that we can ask, is that we show up and be the best for ourselves, right? Being the best for ourselves. Is so many of you out there who have been so good at being everything to everybody. You show up for your mama, you show up for your auntie, you show up for your cousin, you show up for your sister, you show up for your children, you show up for the auxiliary board, you show up for the sorority meeting, you show up for all these different people, but then you put yourself last on the list. And in this season, if you're going to see real results in your life, you are going to have to become selfish. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back in the cheap seats. As women, we are going to have to become selfish in this season. Everybody else has got blood from a turnip out of us. They done got butter from a duck. Baby, they done woe you out. Okay? Everybody has, you done showed up for everybody. In this season, for you to see results in your life, you've got to show up for yourself. You've got to show up for yourself. And if that's showing up for yourself looks like what Jada did and losing 40 pounds and setting her life on a trajectory of health and wellness at a young age, maybe you're 47 and you need to do the same thing. Maybe you're 57 and this is your opportunity to set up what 77 looks like. You just have to start. I mean, we look at people like Chef Babette. If you're not familiar, you can Google Chef Babette. She's a well known 73-year-old vegan woman, and she did not go vegan until she was 40 years old. She started working out and she went vegan at 40 years old. That decision at 40 has set her on the path to be and how she is, how she looks, how she feels at 73 years old. The changes I made at 19 years old from my father calling me fluffy on a spring break trip has set me up to the 42, almost 43-year-old woman you see before you. It's a one day decision. It's that one day where you look up and you say, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to see something different for my life. God has a different plan for me, and I'm going to choose to walk in that. When you make that decision, everything changes. But when you make that decision, everybody else gets in line and they follow in suit. And if they don't want to, baby, they are not for this season of your life. You know? Listen, all the people in here are talking about Miss Jackie said reading her thoughts. Talks like this platform helps. Thank you so much. Courtney said that's awesome. Again, I needed this. Leslie said, Miss Jackie, she ain't your niece. That's not your niece in the comments, okay? Uh Listen, Courtney said last on the list got me in the hospital. I hear you loud and clear. Kim says, I'm in the season of giving of selfless. Courtney Jones said, this is right on time. I'm just now going through perimenopause at 56 and it's insane. The weight and hot flashes have changed my life. I'm showing up because I have to get this under control. Here's what we know. And hey, Courtney, good to see you today. You know, we have power in how our body responds. I do not want you to think that you don't have no control. We have all the power of how our body can respond. The body, the mind tells the body what to do. Okay. And so there are so many things that we can begin to do, how we can change our diet. It's certain things that we may have to give up. When we think about all these added hormones and all these antibiotics and all this stuff in this food, we got to understand that too is getting in our system and shifting how our hormones are affected, shifting how our body is reacting to things. So that might be a thing. Maybe we got to change some things in our diet. You know, when we think about eating whole foods versus processed foods, the processed foods and all the additives shift our makeup. It shifts how our body reacts and responds. So we want to think about, we got the power, we have the control, we just have to make the decision, right? You know, when they open up the doors of the church and then they start singing, I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided. It's just a decision. They give you a permission slip and say the invitation is here, the doors of the church are now open, will you come? Right? It's the same thing about your own life. There is an open invitation for you to transform your life at any given moment. The invitation is here, the invitation is clear. You just have to decide whether you're going to make the action steps, put one foot in front of the other to start moving in the direction of the destiny you say you want. You have the power to do it, right? You have the power. Kim Green says chefs, vegan restaurants, food is amazing. Altandra Crockett says, speak it. I'm gonna be selfish in this season. It requires us to be. You know, so often we have so many of our male counterparts, they get to kind of frolic off sometimes. And, you know, we kind of get left with the brunt of caretaking and nurturing and doing these things that require us to have way more capital in the household, right? Way more investment in the household. We got to set the doctor's appointments. We got to make sure kids get to all these different places. We got to be the keeper of the keys, keeper of the schedule, all these different things. And it doesn't allow us to be selfish. Here's what I want you to start doing. This is your one action item as I begin to close out this live for the day. Here's your one action item. I want you to take 1 hour every single day, which is 4% of your day. 4% of your 24 hours is 1 hour. 4%. I want you to be selfish with 1 hour. If you become selfish with 1 hour for the next 21 days, I want to see how your life is going to shift when you become selfish with 1 hour. This is my hour. You don't get to call me. You're not talking to me. Y'all need to figure it out. The don't that's what y'all need to do. I'm on do not disturb for this hour is my hour. Whether that's in the morning, whether it's in the afternoon, whether it's in the evening, you figure out what hour that is going to be. And so your action item is to become selfish with 1 hour, 4% of your day becomes totally devoted to you. So if you want to use that hour to work out, cool. You want to use that hour to read, cool. You want to use that hour to take a nap, cool. You want to use that hour to meal prep, great. You want to use that hour for your therapy session, cool. Whatever it is that you are deciding to do, I want you to make a decision to get selfish with 1 hour of your day. If that's meditating, if that's journaling, if that's reading, if that's going for a walk, if that is just sitting in your car and don't nobody say nothing to you, if that's you sitting in your garage and ain't nobody saying nothing to you, baby, that's your business. But 1 hour, I want you to get selfish and I want you to tell me exactly what happens in the next 21 days after you get selfish with 1 hour. Listen, Wanda said, amen. They said the doors of the church are now open. Come on in. Leslie says she's going to do that. So over the next week, I want you to get selfish and let me know how that selfish, that 1 hour is becoming better for you, how your days are becoming brighter because you've gotten selfish. We have dropped it in the chat. Be sure to, Kim Green says selfish for 1 hour every day. I love that. Listen, the vision board course is up. It is available. If you need a jump start, you need a kickstart, you need a GPS guide, you need something to say, wait a minute, I am a priority in this season. I want to get my life back on track. I want to start setting some priorities and goals for myself because I am choosing me in this season. The vision board course is up. Is we have dropped it in the chat for you so you can go ahead and be sure to get you a copy. It's 19.99, y'all. 19.99, and you get to put a stake and claim in a new part, in a new destiny for your life. For 19.99, you get to put a stake in the ground and say, in this season, I choose me. In this season, there are some things that I'm going to do that people have never seen, that they've never experienced before. There's a brand new me on the horizon. For 19.99, you get to put a stake in the ground and secure a spot and ordain your own destiny. Man, sounds like an easy win for me. They said, what Jada's account again? Digital Jada. She's on all platforms: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You can find Digital Jada there. She also has some tools that you can purchase there as well. So we are here to help you in every area in this season of your life. Everybody around me is winning. I just want y'all to know this, baby. The young, the old, the seasoned, the unseasoned, the mature, the unmature, all the people, everybody winning around me. Okay, ain't nobody losing. Everybody's winning, and it's enough for everybody to win. And so it's Winning Wednesday. You already know the vibes. It's your girl, Brandi Harvey. Until next time, eat well, give a damn, move your body every single day. New episode, Vault Empowers, drops tomorrow, 10 a.m. We'll see you there. Peace.